In 30 years with Amy Caldwell, I have learned that if you want a pat on the back, you're going to have to give it to yourself. So this is an exercise in bragging. This is brag files, not nerd files, because no one else is going to give me credit. So good job, Zach. I want to share some feedback. We work very closely with Star. The reason we work very closely with Star is that Davide Mosele is interested in working with us, and we have lots of mutual value added there. He is a great chemist and has access to production and can make all these great things. And we have lots of ideas that we want to see developed, and we communicate really well and enjoy each other. We're good friends, and it's really fun working together. And it's really gratifying when the results of our work produce good products. And the problem is that when we're testing, there's a ton of confirmation bias. When you've sort of got your idea behind something, then you test it, you really want it to be good, and you find ways to make it good. And then we give it to our friends and contacts, and they test it, and there's less confirmation bias there, but it still exists. Based on the relationships, people want our stuff to be good, and so they make it good. And it really works this way. You find a brand that you like, and you find a way to make it good, and then you really believe in it. And it's important. Belief is a big part of the sport, but it's not the same as truly neutral testing. And to get stuff proved out in the real world at the highest level by people who have no real stake in the game with us, they don't care how we do or where the product comes from, they just want fast skis. It's really gratifying. So part of the deal here is that we can't really share who's doing what. When you're working with these World Cup teams as a supplier, all the exchange of information is implicitly confidential. No one's going to even tell you what they used for a medal. Typically, no team is going back to the companies and saying, oh, we use this for sure. They tend to be a little more cagey and protective of what happens. It's not exactly like, even the Super Tour level. Everyone's sharing information. It's really collegial. Not so much at the World Cup. So rather than just omit team names, I was going to try to find a beep to put over them, but I couldn't find a beep. What I did find was a bunch of meows. So I brought my cat. This guy was given to me by Amy and Gunnar when I was in the hospital after breaking my leg back in 2016. And Amy's tried to kind of co-opt him as her cat, but he's definitely mine. So he's going to be beeping out the stuff that we can't share. So I can just read results and interpret for you. These are text messages from Davide starting back in early October this year. Ciao, Zach. He's Italian. Ciao, Zach. I had here team today. So for sure they're interested in working more on fluoro-free. This is cool because they're doing a lot of fluoro-free background testing already. They know the World Cup's heading fluoro-free eventually. Not all teams are doing this. Most are focusing their resources on just keeping up with the new fluoro products. They tested the beta warm. Okay, we're not going to go into that too much. Yeah, we can get into that later when we have more information. They liked the fast release handle. Okay, the fast release handle. This is this hex drive handle for the roto brushes, and this is not an original idea. Davide mocked one up years ago, and I've had plenty of people say, oh, that would be great. And finally, when Dave Johnston came to me with a janky hardware store mock-up to be able to use an impact driver, I was like, we got to do it. We got to just produce one. So we found the drawing for this hex shank on the internet. It's an ISO standard, and we reproduced it exactly. It ended up being a little too short. The first production didn't leave quite enough room for some impact drivers to operate the quick release, so it was a little awkward, so we've made it longer this year. But it's definitely making the rounds on the World Cup. People love that. That's kind of cool. I also gave them some M-Stick for testing. This is a team that hasn't been on this stuff yet. A lot of teams were on it last year. This is the kick wax that I developed, and then we turned my recipes into raw material recipes from Davide, and it's worked awesome. Really good. They also asked me to make some sample of cleaning, zeroing skis wax, a glide wax for cleaning and zeroing. It's fun as they're asking for something in the middle between red and violet, or so cold and medium is what he's talking about there, or medium and cold. And he immediately thought of the Patrick special formula. Pat O'Brien asked for this wax. It's a harder natural paraffin. Natural paraffin is petroleum derived rather than synthetic. Really long chain synthetic paraffins can be a little tough on the base. The petroleum based paraffin is really gentle on the base and it leaves it shiny, but we wanted some harder stuff. So we had this NF5 made in a powder form, so it's economical and easy to put on, and it's a really good neutral testing and training wax, zeroing wax. Yeah, all around surface paraffin. This plenty good for training and keeps the bases hardened off enough to use in most conditions, but also really nicely, gently saturates them. So it's cool. Okay, going on. Let's see. October 8th now. He says, Ciao, Zach. Today I had here at the C team. They got really a lot of success with your M stick. Oh, I'm so happy. They took 10 each for the starting of the season. This is last year. I gave them in October last year. They used already in race in Ruka. That's so cool. They got it in October and they used it in the first World Cup in Ruka. That makes me super happy. It is fun as they are really friend with another wax company. But in the last few years, they're buying a lot of kick wax. Now we are having a lot of good feedback with M stick. I'm waiting to have here. Spoke and CC team. They also need more M stick. They used last year. Who is making skis for their top racer said that it was on the top 3 for the Olympic medal day. Well, that's cool, but that doesn't tell us that they used it. Only that it was like among the best. Who knows? No way of knowing. That's the kind of feedback you get, but it's cool. They're testing it in China. That's great. I know of one team that definitely did use it in China because the service tech approached me, sent me some of his mixes, and I had Davide send him some of these, and then afterwards he wrote me privately and said that they used it. That was cool. Ciao, Zach. Team bought 50 M stick, 50 of these. But each serviceman also bought 3 for their personal use. Interest was really high. That's cool. This team got this stuff for the first time in Val di Fiemme last year, and after the race weekend, they came back and asked for as much as Davide had. And I had already asked him to send me all he had left because we had sold out and he hadn't produced any more yet. So he gave them some more, but he asked if they had used it in the race there in Val di Fiemme where they had very notably good skis, and they wouldn't tell him, but they wanted as much as they could get. That was cool. Oh, also this team for the first time is interested in floral-free material for Glide. That's great that they're starting to test that stuff. They really like the fast drying of the Star stuff. And as the other teams, the fast release handle was like ice cream to children. Excellent. They took a lot of wool roller. Gold nylon brush is their favorite. Okay, so these brushes, we worked on a brush project last year, and I just wasn't totally satisfied with some of the standard brushes. We really wanted the 70 mil format so you can build your own combinations. And we're using so much of the fleece that having brushes that we can stack along with fleeces was critical. So this gold nylon, I was really demanding and specific about what we wanted, and this is just variations of the bristle diameter and length and pattern that we tested last spring, both for this new unicorn hair, horsehair, and the gold nylon. The gold, it's more orange. We wanted to get pink, but the quantity required to get pink would have been like 1 million brushes. That was too much. Okay, what else have we got here? M29 production. Oh, that's cool, M29. So we have M16, M21, M26. Here's the secret code. The numbers are the percent clister in the mix. So M29 has more clister. There are also other variations in the formula. So my original formula is over here. These are all different ratios of ingredients, other wax companies' waxes that we tested, and only a few of them were really successful, and that's what we reproduced here. But this is our really first foray outside of my original recipes, and I think in the material that he's using, which is more stable and more ice resistant and more tolerant than what I had, we might have some success there with M29. I've passed some out to some coaches this year, so that's fun. Cup team ordered 6 each of M-Stick. Now this is the team that I know used the product in Beijing. They asked if we have new model. This is cool. They're looking for new ideas. What else have you got? And he said, Davide says, before proposing M29, I would like you to test it. So he doesn't want to send out anything that we aren't pretty sure works. We'll find out. I'll get feedback from people on that pretty soon. And we'll, yeah, the ground's white outside. Maybe we'll get to test it pretty soon. Okay, so this is good news. yeah, I got this order yesterday. And I said, nice, they had some already last year. They must be finding ways to use it. And he says, yes, I'm sure they are good. I really got order from all team that had a chance to test them. So we got 3 each just delivered yesterday. Maybe I did not mention to you. He did. Okay, so it's been a fun process here, and it's ongoing. We have new ideas. I mentioned this M29. Also, we have these versions of Violet. Davide's Violet is a -2, -6 wax. It's a popular wax is of his kick line. It's the one that gets used the most. It's pretty hard and pretty tacky, and it does really well in slightly older snow for us. But I'm interested in some different material characteristics, and so we have these 3 versions of Violet that all utilize different materials to achieve similar performance range or temperature range, and with different qualities. The stuff that goes into these waxes, you can vary the hardness, you can vary the amount of glue, as Davide says, the sticky stuff that sticks to the to the snow. I'm sorry. So there are different ways to achieve the results, and tons of different raw materials that can get you there. And so this is just 3 different versions, and we're super eager to see how that goes. In the meantime, the feedback keeps us going, and it's just super gratifying to be involved in something that's getting validated at the highest levels. And that's it. There's my pat on the back to start the day.